start with your final thoughts to wrap up from last Friday against Eastern, and then looking ahead to James Madison, another quarterfinal appearance for the Grizzlies.
Sure. Obviously, we were pleased with the beating Eastern on Friday night, and certainly dominating him and winning that game comfortably. Felt really good, and it was nice to have Saturday to recoup a little bit and then get on to Madison and our prep for them. So, you get to this time of year, everybody's good, and Madison is certainly that. They're a really good team. They're good in all three phases. I think probably at least, I don't know, it's hard to quantify through an entire season, but they're a complete football team, as complete as we've seen. They're well coached. They're sound in everything they do. I mean, it's what happens when you get to this point in the season. Everybody knows what they're doing, and they have good players and good coaching.
The folks at home, we've got linebacker Patrick O'Connell with us and wide receiver Mitch Roberts.
Coach, 6 in a row now, and that was an awesome performance on Friday night. So how have you guys been able to continue to build momentum, and what have been the key factors to how well you're playing right now?
Well, I think that it goes back to our players and their preparation. I think everybody's focused in on preparing for the game and trying to play their best, and I just think that that's been tremendous. That's bad look, Aaron.
I have no comment.
I don't either. I was going to go further, but I'm not.
Can we pause for a second? Yeah.
We're going to have to put a R rating on this. Certainly PG-13. Certainly PG-13.
Go ahead.
Anyway, where were we?
That's great. Similar question for you, Pat. I mean, you guys play such this momentum-based style. When the momentum gets going, you guys are so fun to watch. So how have you guys been able to really do that, especially this last 6 or 8 weeks?
Yeah, like Coach touched upon, it comes from the preparation and the work that we put in during the week. And I'd have to say that a lot of it comes from them getting us ready, but then us kind of preparing on our own, watching the film, doing the proper film study that we have to do, and then just going out and putting the plan all together out on the field. And that's the biggest part, is going out and doing what we do. And I think obviously you guys watched, and we did that.
Bobby, the expectation of excellence has always been something you've talked about and something you've emphasized. You expected to be one of the best teams in the country, but now here you are in the last 8 teams. So what's that like, and how have you guys just fulfilled the expectation that you expect when it comes to excellence?
Yeah, I think that it's twofold. One, we do expect to be there. I think trying to get, from our first season, to our third season, I think the expectation in the locker room is there rather than what's this guy talking about. I mean, I think that's the expectation of our players, which is where it matters.
Bobby, to follow up on that, obviously in 2018, the seniors you have now were all redshirt freshmen, sophomores. So how have they kind of helped build you guys to that point, the seniors you have right now?
Yeah, they were sophomores, I think, that year, Kyle, for the most part. Again, I think it's like I just mentioned. I think the expectation level has grown. They're not hoping that we win. They know we're going to win. They know the mechanism for it and how we do it. And, that leads to us being a hard team to beat.
Has that group been kind of instrumental in the growth, really just, kind of getting that attitude and understanding, like, hey, the expectation, like they kind of brought that back? Has that group been pretty instrumental in that?
I don't know. I mean, that would be shortchanging everybody else. I mean, the expectation's there among everyone, or else get someone else in there, And, I mean, that's what the expectation is for our football team, is to win on Saturdays.
For Pat and Mitch, both, just want to ask you guys about the seniors that you guys have gotten a chance to work with this year, and the careers they've helped you guys build, and working with them. Just what has this class meant for you guys and working alongside with them?
Yeah, like Coach Hauck said too, there's been previous players in our program that have been obviously instrumental to that. But for me, especially this year, the connection that me and Jace and all the linebackers for that matter have built has been pretty special. And all the other seniors on defense, they've bought into everything that the coaches have asked them, and that's why they're out there making plays and helping our team win football games. So they've obviously been pretty special to the Grizzly program, I'd say.
Yeah, I think just the leadership that our seniors have shown throughout the year and throughout their 4 or 5 years here, going through, winter conditioning, summer, and then just buying into everything. It's been something that I've looked up to, and it's been pretty awesome. I think that just watching how far our senior class has come and how much they've done to help us as underclassmen as well. So.
Coach, I remember 2008 when you guys went to James Madison and had a pretty big win. So what do you remember about that evening more than 10 years ago?
Well, they were ranked number 1 in the nation, and we were kind of a young team that had entered the season without much regard for it and had gotten better through the season. We played well. I also remember their head coach, Mickey Matthews, a good friend of mine, and he was pretty disappointed because that was the best team he had at JMU. So it was a fun night. It was a good performance by us.
How would you describe that venue?
Oh, it's a great place. They have good stuff. Their people care about football. It's a great place. It's a good place to play.
Have you been back there since?
I've been through there, yeah.
Yeah.
I checked it out, and it's really a cool place. It'll be a great place for game Friday night.
And Patrick, your perspective just on James Madison, they've been one of the best programs in the country for quite some time now. So what do you think of this challenge?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. It's going to be a challenge. But us as a team, that's what we're looking forward to, is a challenge. And Coach hit on it earlier that every team that's still playing right now is really good. And that's what we're expecting. So we're going to prepare as such, and then we're going to go out and do what we do.
Bobby, kind of a similar question, that when you guys went on the road and beat James Madison in 2008 semifinals, do you see any parallels between the team you had that year and the team this year, your team?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. That's a long time ago.
One for Pat and Mitch. I assume you guys were old enough to remember watching that game in the playoffs. So what do you remember the most about watching that? And just
Oh, I think I was in elementary school, so I don't remember much.
2008.
Yeah.
You and Robbie would have been in what? 4th grade?
Fourth grade, yeah. So
Long time ago.
I've definitely heard about it, but I don't think I remember watching it. But yeah.
Do you remember?
What year was that, 2008?
Yeah.
Did you guys make the Natty that year?
Uh-huh.
See, I remember watching the national championship that year, but I'm not sure if I watched what was it, the quarterfinals?
Semi.
I don't know if I watched the semifinal. So,
They were good. That's what I remember.
yeah.
Like scary good.
Coach, they're obviously good in a lot of areas. Are there any in particular that jump out the page most to you?
Well, the turnover margin, where they're leading the nation, jumps out, like way jumps out. I think the top 2 teams in the nation in terms of takeaways are us and them, but their turnover margin's superior to ours, and they're leading the nation in that category. So that stands out. I think they're good at a lot of positions. So, I mean, their wide receivers pop off the screen when you turn the film on. Obviously, if that's happening, the quarterback's getting them the ball. I like their defense. I really do. I think they're well personneled on defense.
What's it like when you're facing off with an opponent you're not as familiar with, and there's not a lot of crossover during the season, as far as like just preparing for a team like that?
You don't have a gauge on personnel familiar personnel, but in terms of the breakdown and the game planning from an X and O standpoint, it's no different.
Both players, maybe start with Pat. Just how would you just describe what like this little 6-game win streak has been like, and how enjoyable it has been, especially the last 2, and just how much you guys are just excited to keep playing?
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why we're here. We're here to win, and when you drop a game, the only thing you can do is go back to work and put your head down and get the guys rallied, and I think we've done a really good job of that. And like you said, it's been super fun, especially to know that we get another game with the seniors on the team, get another game for them and for the team, and it's super exciting to know that you earned the next week, because obviously at this point it's not given. Like in the regular season, you got a game every week, but at this point you earn it, and that's what makes it special for us.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think our team's just hit quite a bit of a stride, and at this point it's win or go home. So I think that's just enough motivation for our team, to keep competing and go out there and get a win. So yeah.
And you guys have been so good on the road this year. How much kind of maybe confidence or extra confidence can you lean on, being like, hey, we've been in this spot, we've played well on the road this year?
Yeah, obviously we want to play in front of our fans. They're the best fans, but we have played pretty well on the road this year, and I think that's just our team just coming together, and it's not about anyone else outside of our team, and it's just us guys buying in and executing together and going out there and doing our best. So I think the road game, it should be fun.
Pat, for you, what's it like? I mean, obviously you're preparing last week, and it's a familiar opponent. You know a lot about them. What's it like going against a team that you don't know much about, going to a place in the country that you haven't really been, and just having it all be kind of different?
Yeah, it is different. Like you said, it's going to be interesting to travel to a place that's farther than 2 hours on a plane. So it doesn't really change much for us because we like to keep the same, but I think it'll be fun to go experience a different part and see how their fans are compared to our fans. I mean, I know we got the best fans in the nation, but like Coach said, they like their football down there, so it'll be exciting to see how they react to how we play football, I guess. So I'm excited for that part.
Coach, you mentioned the turnover margin, also the third down defense that James Madison plays. That seems to really stand out too. I think 25% is what they're giving up. So what factors lead into that? I mean, what do they do well, particularly on third down?
Well, I think probably they're really good up front. I mean, not probably, they are. Very talented up front. They play well and they win. And when you're winning up front, it gives you a good chance, particularly on third down.
And you mentioned the receivers. It seems like they throw the ball down the field quite a bit, as did Eastern. So is there a transition there for the defense where they saw a lot of that last week as well?
Well, they've got a pretty comprehensive pass game, so you can't just say, they're just chucking it down the field. So, I mean, you got to stop what they do and what they give you on any given play.
Coach, I know their quarterback was maybe a freshman, and some of the other players were on the team when they most recently won a national championship. I guess, how important is that, or how useful is that for a team if there's guys who have seen what it takes to win a championship, I guess?
Well, I think there's some residual effect to see how the guys ahead of you prepared. Sort of like what I was talking about earlier with our team. We're evolving into that.
Anybody else? Thanks, everybody.